Welcome everyone back to North to Prem. In today's episode, we have two fixtures. Our last game in the Champions League group stage, and then we are away to Norwich in the Premier League. Since the last time you left us, we have been on a great run. So obviously, we left, I think it was the Liverpool-Tottenham draws. We followed up with a massive, very, very important 5-1 win over Newcastle in the Premier League. We then followed that up with a massive winning run. We beat Burnley 3-0 in the league, progressed in the FA Cup over Wrexham. We beat City over two legs in the League Cup. We beat Wolves and Brighton in the Prem. We beat PAOK 7-0 in the Champions League, and then again progressed in the FA Cup, this time against Barnsley. That does mean we have a League Cup final set up against Everton. We are in the fifth round of the FA Cup against Norwich, and then we have our last Champions League group phase game today. We are qualified. We have guaranteed qualification, but we haven't guaranteed top 4. We've guaranteed top 24. So there is still a chance that we could drop out of this. Obviously, as you can see, there's teams with only just a point behind us. So this is still a game we need to win. We play in Marseille, who are down in 12, who, if they beat us, would probably leapfrog us. I think it's on head-to-head, the Champions League group. Is it? It might be. I don't know if it's goal difference, head-to-head, whatever it is. But that's an important one, so we will make sure we try and win it, because obviously if we finish top 8, then we will skip that playoff round. If we take a look at the league run, we've got quite a decent little run ahead of us. I mean, as you can see, we've been doing well. Premier League-wise, we are top of the league at the minute, a point above Man United with a game in hand, which is really good. Just the 2 losses so far in 22. We're looking good for it. We are looking good for it. 2 points ahead of Liverpool, game in hand, and then 5 points ahead of Newcastle, but we are level on games. City have really fell off. They've drawn a lot of games this year, a lot of games where they just haven't scored enough. So we're doing well. We've drawn a couple, but no more than Liverpool. United seem to lose a few more games than us, so I think we're looking good. Goal difference wise, we are smashing it. I would say Liverpool are probably our closest challengers. I think Man United just, a little bit below them. Newcastle, I did anticipate them falling off, and they have definitely done that. As you can see, past winners, I mean, there hasn't been a winner other than City and Arsenal since the league's since the save started, but hopefully we can keep that trend going, and because City aren't going to win it, so hopefully we can. I mean, they're not. It's still early. There's still a lot of football to be played, but I think we're in a good stretch now. We have obviously done the January transfer window, so we do have a bit of business to talk about. We'll cover the exits first. So as you can see, quite a few players have left. So Hussein Al Salam, that young wonder kid who was just in the academy, who's like a League One player at the minute, he's gone to PSG. Was actually gone to PSG 2 for 25.5 million. We're looking to finish the save pretty much this season, so it doesn't really make sense to keep a wonder kid. A couple of youngsters left. Arda Güler went to Bayern for £60 million. Obviously, a little bit of profit there. He was doing okay. He's had a very good start in the Bundesliga, 2 and 3. He's a good player. We just have too many players. And then another one of those youngsters who was just sitting in the academy, Zanigas, went to Bournemouth. I don't know where this huge valuations come from. He's not very good. We did make about exactly £1 million loss on him, but we did get £1.8 million on a loan deal. So, I mean, 5 games and they paid £1.8 million is quite crazy. I don't know why they only played him that much. Anyway, we obviously made some business. So we already knew about Hignaldo Di Brito. He was confirmed his arrival before that, but we have signed him permanently. He's played a couple of games. He's looked decent. 17.5 million from Santos, I think that is. We then signed Sergio on loan, just a £1.5 million fee, or £750,000 fee there. He wasn't getting played at Fulham, just wasn't getting a game. Hasn't really had a great season, but he's joined us, and he's had a very good start in the Champions League. 2 goals, and I think 2 goals, 2 assists in his debut, and he's made 2 sub appearances in the league. So definitely going to be a useful hand to have. This one was really, really good. Junior, Brazilian, 21-year-old new gen left back. He joins us, and he's looked amazing. He's only played the 1 game because him and that Hignaldo Di Brito both went on under 23 duty for Brazil, so we haven't seen much of him, but he will probably feature today. He's a leading Premier League player for just 16.25 million. I mean, that is some transfer. And then we also got Gustavo Ferreiro. He joins us, just a midfield option. Obviously, with losing Güler, he could could play a little bit deeper, so we probably needed someone else. So £8 million, he's just okay. I wouldn't imagine him staying around forever if we were doing a long-term save here at Arsenal, but good enough to rotate in. We are still trying to bring in one or two, so we have Gertruda, who might be on his way out the club. We've got a bid from Chelsea for around 11 million in total. We just don't need another centre-back. He's not really getting played, so we might as well cash in on him. But we are trying to bring in quite the player. Luis Araujo looks unbelievable. He is currently playing in Benfica. He's not really lighting the world up. His average rating's very good, but he's not really scoring or assisting a lot. But he's world-class. And we've got a £30 million deal rising to 65. I think that's very good. He's basically, the perfect player. 19 passing, 18 technique, 17 first touch, 19 vision, 17 for decisions, composure, and anticipation. I mean, look at that physicals. He's unbelievable. He plays 1-2s. He dictates tempo. He's a world-class midfielder. I don't know why no one else isn't interested in him, but he's on his way in potentially as well. I think he's just looking at the contract. So if he comes in, I wouldn't necessarily think that Ouedraogo would lose his space as a starter, because, again, I mean, he's not too far different, really. It's just slightly different things. But Ouedraogo's having a very, very good season. As you can see, 3 goals, 4 assists. 7.46 average rating. He's been incredible. So it's not like he's going to lose his spot, but he may lose it a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But he was definitely, it's just someone you can't pass up on. Even if we only see him for half a season and we win the league and that's the end of the save, I just had to get him in. So this is the team that we're going for. We are training up Varero because he is just actually a centre mid by nature. So I am actually training him to play DM. We don't play with a 10 at the minute. We're playing with 2 strikers. So the idea is that he would come in and be a ball-winning midfielder, because I think if you look at his stats, maybe he's more of a deep line playmaker with that passing and technique, but we just don't have a lot of ball-winning midfielders. I think Declan Rice is one. I think Gavi's not really a ball-winning midfielder either. 12 tackling. He just doesn't seem like it, but it does say that's where he's good as, but I think he's better as a playmaker. So this is the team that we've got for the Marseille game. We've got Costa in goal, a back four of Vieira, Saliba, Gertruda, who's leaving, and Branthwaite at left back. We've made a few changes just to keep fitness up. Obviously, our main focus is the Premier League. We're already qualified, so even if we don't finish top 8, it's not the end of the world. But I still think this team should beat Marseille. We've got Ferrero and Gavi in midfield. We've got Sergio, who had a very good Champions League debut, coming back in. Pedri on the right, on the left, Sergio on the right, and then Ferguson and Bruninho up top. Bruninho has been very good as of late, scoring plenty in the chances he's been given, so I think he deserves a chance. And that's the bench. Those 2 Brazilian youngsters are out away on international duty, so we will get into this now. I mean, we've yapped on long enough about the game. Just make sure we are recording. We are indeed. And we will get into our first game of the episode. Like I say, second game will be Norwich. Not sure when we're going to come back, actually. I haven't really looked at it too much. We'll switch this over, get the league table on. But a win here would guarantee us top 8, which would guarantee us a pass into the round of 16, I think it is. So it's round of 32. It's called a playoff, but it's a round of 32. I think if you're in 9th to 24th, and obviously if you're below 24th, you're just out. I mean, looking at this list, not really any shockers. Maybe Bayer Leverkusen would have expected to do better. Maybe Sporting. This lot, you'd probably expect Barcelona, Bayern, maybe a couple of the others to have gotten into the top 8, but there's nothing crazy. And also, we are a few years into this save, so maybe the likes of Bayern and Barcelona aren't as good as they used to be, especially now they don't have Gavi and Pedri, which is who we have. And speaking of Gavi, here he is on the ball, and it's Sergio, the former Fulham man. Well, he's still a Fulham man, to be fair. He's only on loan, but we've had him at Fulham. We've signed him at Fulham. We've signed him again. I think he's one of the only few players. I think we've only done it a handful of times, but he is one of the few players in this save we've signed at 2 different clubs. Obviously, we signed him from Rayo Vallecano when we were at Fulham. I think it was £14 million. I think we were just looking at his career stats there before we started the episode. I think it was £14 million. I think the only one we've signed twice was Kevin Contreras, because I'm sure we had him at Lincoln. I'm sure we've got him at... Did we bring him in at Fulham as well? I might just be making this up. I'm sure we had him twice. We'll just tell him not to get complacent. Pretty boring game so far. I mean, we've had the goal, which is good. Sergio now from the free kick whips it into Vieira, and I don't really know what happened. Seems like someone got flagged for offside, and Branthwaite did have it in the back of the net, but for some reason it got ruled out. So I guess something happened. I don't know. We'll bring Dedic on for Branthwaite. Pedri's looking a little bit tired as well. Who could do with coming on? we'll bring Fatty on. He's probably the one that wouldn't start against Norwich, so no harm in giving him some time. We'll probably take Ferguson off if we get another goal. Otherwise, he'll probably just stay on. I don't think there's anyone else we really need to take off. Well, now we need to take off Gabby because he's just all of a sudden gotten very tired. We will bring Udrago on because Rice... I guess Rice could probably play there as well, but we'll bring Udrago on for now, and then we'll probably save our last two subs for the 70th, unless something happens, which is about now. We'll take Ferguson off because he is getting tired. We'll bring Cruz on for him, swap those round, and we'll take Saliba off as well. Yeah, we'll bring Bichiabu on. Gertrude is a good player, but I just don't think we need him. Ferrero now on the ball. Plays it out to Gertrude. Plays it back to Ferrero. Plays a poor pass to Fatty, but he's gotten away with it. And Cruz, if he could have squared it there, that would have been a great bit of play, but he didn't square it. Mourinho was pretty open as well. So I think Cruz has been good, but he could have been... Yeah, I think I would expect more from him when I look at him as a player. I would expect a little bit more from him, but it's okay. He's still a good player, so we won't question it too much. And it does look like it's going to... unless there's some late drama, Cruz now whips it in to... I don't know where Gertrude is heading it there, but it's worked out okay. Fatty now with a chance. That is a great finish. A great finish from Fatty. That's hard to say. Little Fatty with a great finish there. That has put us all the way up to second. Tottenham must have won every single game because I think we lost one and won the rest. So Tottenham must have had a very good Champions League campaign because they've won every single game. Vieira whips it in. Little Fatty can't get off the ground to head it, and it is actually going to be... Well, I thought that's a great covering from Vieira, by the way. I thought it was going to be a Marseille goal late on. It wasn't made too much difference because we are very much ahead. Fatty on the ball now. Lovely turn from Fatty. Plays it through to Ferrero. Sergio, lovely ball into Bernino. If he can find Cruz in the middle, he does, and that is a terrific bit of play. Everyone linking up so well. We are a very well-oiled machine at the minute. We are flying. This is exactly the kind of... I don't want to say treble winning, momentum, but we're looking good, man. Quadruple even. We are in all competitions still, so I think there is a very good chance we'll win silverware this year. I would say out of everything, maybe the Champions League would be the one I would think would be the least likely. The Prem is very close. Make no mistake, the Prem is very close. No one important played. Yeah, the Prem is very close. So we could definitely... if we can win our game in hand, get that 2-point gap to 5, 1 point to 4, then it looks a little bit better. But it is very, very close. We've got a very tough last run in. Newcastle, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then we've still got City and United to play as well. So we have got a tough run in. If we can get to around this point here before Chelsea and be about 6 points, 9 points clear, then it starts to look like, okay, this run in isn't necessarily the be all and end all. But if we're only even just 3 points clear with this run in, we will not win all 4 of these. It's just a guarantee. We won't win all 4 of them because it's very tough games. 2 of them are away. We struggled against Liverpool and Tottenham last time. So, I don't see us necessarily winning all 4 of those. But we have qualified for the round of 16, so we won't think too far ahead. We have a game against Norwich to play first. But yeah, we've got a very important game. I really don't think there'll be too much of a gap. I think we might just play Palace off camera and come... Fulham Man United's a very good game. So I think we'll come back for that as a double. And then maybe come back for Everton and Villa, or Everton in a Champions League game, because we'll definitely want to do the League Cup final as well, because it's our first chance as Arsenal manager to win silverware. And we've not won the League Cup so far. We've won the FA Cup with Fulham, and that's the only major we've won so far. So good win against Marseille, 3-0 in the end with some late goals. We do qualify for the round of 16, so we'll obviously take a look at that if we get that draw before the end of the episode. Otherwise, we'll look at it next episode. But next up, Norwich in the Prem. So for our second game of the episode, we have Norwich away in the Premier League. They're down in 16th, so we should be winning this one. Liverpool smashed Villa 5-0 in their game, so they have actually leapfrogged us to go top of the table. A win for us, or even a draw for us really, would put us back up to top of the league, but obviously we want to be winning this. Get that 2-point gap plus a game in hand. Man United actually drew with Sunderland, so they have actually drew the last two Prem games, which means they are starting to slowly slip away. You could argue they're actually going to be below Newcastle if they win their game in hand. So it is vital that we win this. We need to keep the momentum up. As you can see, I mean, we haven't lost a game since Real Madrid in the Champions League all the way back in October. We lost on the opening day, which is crazy. And we lost to Man United. We've won everything else. So we are looking very good. This is the team that we've got for the Norwich game. We've got Costa in goal, a back four of Vieira, Saliba, Batshuayi, I never say his name right, Bichiabu, Dedic, Rice and Udrago in midfield, Saka and Martinelli, very familiar faces. Ferguson, top scorer with 19 so far, partnering up with Thiago Cruz. The Brazil boys we won't see back till probably the next episode because they are still away on international duty. Junior would have been straight in, but he's away. Brito is definitely more of a rotation option. Just to confirm, we did sell Gertrude, so he's went to Chelsea for 8.75 million. That's a good bit of business from them. He's been very good. I mean, he didn't have a very good debut, did he? That's bad. What did they lose? They drew with Tottenham. I mean, that's not a terrible result, but 3 goals conceded on your debut. Not great. We haven't confirmed that deal yet. He's still mulling it over, so we'll see about that. We've got lots of money though, so I don't think it'll be a money issue if we need to go back and offer him more. So this is the team that we're going for. We will submit it and hopefully continue our run because we are on a very, very good unbeaten run at the minute. Just the 3 losses all year, and we're in February now. That is league winning form. I usually think around 5 losses is the most you can have in a league season in the Premier League and win. But if you can get it down to about 3 or 4, you're pretty much going to be in and amongst the league favourites. So definitely don't want to lose this one. I mean, this is a team we should be beating. Like I say, they are down in 16th. And we have been on a terrific run, but you never know what the football manager gods have in store. But hopefully an early goal will settle any nerves about anything like that. Ferguson, well, he did win the ball in a very, very poor goal kick. But unfortunately, nothing came of it. But Rice picks up the loose ball, driving forward through to Ferguson. Lovely ball through to Saka. That is a terrific finish. We are just cooking now. We are cooking. The dynamics is, everyone's happy. We've got rid of anyone who wasn't happy. Yeah, we're doing really well. That will, once the table updates, puts us 2 points clear of Liverpool. And obviously we have that game in hand as well, which we could turn into 5 points if we were to play that game in hand. We still have Liverpool to play, so it is important that we do get as much of a gap, because if we do, it is going to be them that's going to be challenging. There's definitely a few title challenges. I keep saying Newcastle aren't involved, but they are still in and around it. We definitely can't write anyone off at this stage. Far too many games left to play. We are only in the 23rd game of the season for us. A couple of us have obviously played a little bit more, but we're looking good. If we can smash Norwich here, then again, we just increase the confidence that little bit more, but we've got to be feeling confident at the minute. I mean, we must be the most informed team in Europe, and Martinelli has just made it very, very, very calm, very relaxed for the bench. Us and the staff, me and the subs, we're all feeling pretty good about ourselves right now, because we are 2-0 up, and that's a wonderful goal. Martinelli and Saka have definitely contributed to this year. I mean, they are obviously Arsenal long-staying legends at this point in the save. They have been here for forever. Saka a one-club man. Martinelli, not as much, but pretty close to a one-club man, as he does get a 3rd goal of the afternoon. And this is spelling some half-time changes, because we do not need to risk any injuries to important players when we have games pretty much wrapped up. I don't see us losing this one anytime soon. Saka on the corner. I mean, we are only 25 minutes in here. I mean, we have made quite a few statements this season, but this will be a huge statement if we were to just show how much better we are than the teams lower down. I mean, I don't think if we do drop points, it's going to be to any of those teams. I'm really surprised we lost to Wolves on the opening day. I really am, because it was a very weird game, and we went for it. And And that's disappointing because we have had an injury there, and this is why I was going to start subbing some players off. Sergio can play right back, but we don't need to be so aggressive. We'll just bring Kirpker on. Sergio can play right back. He played there for Fulham for a couple of times, but yeah, like I said, we don't need to be so attacking and crazy. So we will take Vieira off. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But Kirpker's a fairly good replacement. He's not as good as Vieira. I'm glad we did find another right back. I don't think we'd be doing as well as we've been doing if we didn't have Vieira. I think he's been a vital part of the team. But we've got Kirpker. Like I say, we've got Sergio who can play there. So we've got plenty of options. Cruz on the left-hand side plays it over to Ouedraogo, who plays it through to Ferguson. His shot's blocked. Saka and Martin. The wingers are cooking today. The wingers are cooking. 4-0, 30 minutes in. I mean, this was always going to be what we would hope would be an easy win. But it's proven to be very, very easy. Martinelli with 2, Saka with 2, Ferguson with 2 assists. Yeah, we're flying. We'll be more than fine. And we're missing some players as well. We haven't signed that new midfielder yet. I mean, that's not really missing a player, but you know what I mean. We've got more to come in terms of quality to the side. We've got Sergio in on loan, which I think he's a very good player. So it's crazy that they would. He's not been doing more for them, to be honest. I mean, Fulham are in a good place in the league, and that's a penalty. That's a very, very clear penalty. He's absolutely whacked Ferguson in the back of the leg. He's gone straight over. It's a clear penalty. It's probably going to be 5-0 at half time. We are absolutely going to make changes. I won't go so crazy as to take the goalkeeper off. Saka couldn't get the hat-trick. It's a bit of a weird penalty. He kind of just. He hit a top corner, but just must not have put enough power on it. It was a good save, to be fair. But yeah, we will assertively tell them that they've done well. We'll bring Branthwaite on. We don't really have another left back, so we'll bring him on there just in case we don't want to lose. I guess we do have that other player. Ferrero's still learning the position, so we'll give him some more game time there. And Pedri could do with a little bit of time as well, so we will bring him on. What do we want to do here? I think Ferguson's actually the one that probably needs to come off, but we'll take Saka off and we'll just swap those round. Yeah, we'll swap them round. Martinelli can play either side, doesn't really matter. Pedri's definitely better on the left. We have got one more sub to make. Will probably be Ferguson unless anyone picks up a knock. Ideally, we would take more off, but we are limited by the rules of the league, and that was very, very good work by Ouedraogo. It's a bit of a weird finish in the end. I thought he was actually. Once I saw the shot, I actually thought he was trying to play it across the ground to Ferguson, but must not have been. Norwich do have a free kick, and the last thing we want is to concede, because that would just give them that little bit of hope. We all remember Arsenal-Newcastle. We definitely don't want to repeat of that, but Martinelli, I don't think there is going to be a repeat of that, because that player he's just, I don't know what he's just having a terrible game, that lad, because he's gave away a penalty and now he's just got a red card, so a second yellow, so I have no idea what he's playing at. We will make the final change. We'll bring Bruninho on. We don't need to swap positions around. He's fairly decent as a pressing forward, actually, Bruninho. So we'll bring him on. It doesn't really show it in the little, what he's comfortable with, but every time I've played him there, he's played pretty well. It is 5-0. Saliba from the corner. We actually haven't really scored a lot of corners. Weirdly enough, Branthwaite's probably been the one who's benefited the most. Maybe not in numbers, but in goals per game or goals per corners or whatever. But Saliba's got another. I think he's scored. God, I keep hiccuping. Saliba's scored a couple, but weirdly enough, Branthwaite has actually scored quite a few, usually from playing left back as well. He's not really a left back, but I keep playing him there because we don't really have another left back. We have played Kirpker there on an occasion as well, but we do have another left back now with Junior coming in. That's a great name, Uncle June. Is in from Brazil, and it does remain 5-0. I mean, this is a literal walk in the park for us today. We have been electric, but we do give the ball away there, which is a little bit disappointing because it's we don't want to be losing our principles. We don't want to be getting sloppy. Don't want to be getting complacent. I mean, I'm surprised there's this many Norwich fans left. They're down to 10 men. The 5-0 down. I would have imagined a fair few of them might have left by now, but they just know they're witness to the new league leaders. Martinelli, I thought he just scored an absolute worldie there, but you know what? Given how they've been battered 5-0, their keeper's done all right. He saved a pen. He's had a couple decent shots. I mean, they've had 12 shots on target. The fact that we're only winning 5-0 is probably a credit to their goalkeeper. He has been quite good. to be honest. You know what's weird is that Bichu Abu doesn't actually have a very good rating in the game, or at least in this save. Pedri, brilliant work, 6-0. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. I mean, I feel bad for this goalkeeper. His defense is absolute bobbins. 6-0. We are flying. This is all good, though, because if it does come down, it is tight still. I know we have a game in hand and we are 2 points clear, but it is still tight. We could absolutely go on a bad run. Like, that is well within our remit. I do think we've got the squad depth to where even if we've got a couple bad injuries, we've got enough good players. But you never know. You never know when you can go on a bad run. So if Vieira's going to be out for a month, that's not great because we don't really have another right back after Kerbke. Obviously, Kerbke can be the one to come in, but he's going to have to play every game now. So it is, I guess Dedic can play there as well. And he is right-footed, so he's probably even better there. Yeah, okay, we're probably fine. I guess Sergio can play there as well. I mean, he's really more of an attacker, but he can play there. He can play there, especially as an attacking fullback. But we wouldn't want to rely on it. So he is going to miss about a month, but maybe a little bit less. But we are on a fantastic run. Like I said, we won't do too much. We'll play Crystal Palace off camera, and then we'll come back for Fulham Man United because I don't want to do Everton Man United. No, we'll do Fulham because it's the former club. So we'll do Palace off camera. We'll come back for Fulham Man United in the next episode, a former club, and then a very, very big, important Premier League game. If we can beat Man United there, that probably spells the end of them. We're already 3 points clear. If we go 6 points clear of them, with a game in hand, that may just about take them out of the title race. It's probably too early to say that, but that would be hard to come back from, especially when we're very likely to win the game in hand because we've won 17 out of 23. We are winning most games. My win percentage, and I'm not trying to big myself up here, but it must be very good. Overall for the save, it's 66%. But as Arsenal manager, I mean, we must be one of the highest ones. So Arteta had a 60% win ratio. He did win the league. He won the Community Shield twice, and I think the FA Cup and the Community Shield were actually in real life. So in save, he did win the Premier League and the Community Shield. Jack Wilshere is interim. Actually, never lost. Good for him. Guardiola then took over, which is very weird why you would go from City to Arsenal. But he won the Shield, he won the League Cup, and he won a Prem. So he did quite well, 68% win ratio there. Why was he sacked? Italiano, the worst of the lot, won a League Cup, did nothing. He was rubbish, 59%. Are we the highest? Ooh, my voice went a bit weird. We are the highest by some way as well. I mean, we're even higher than Jack Wilshere, and he only played 4 games. So we are the highest at 77%. Oh, just the 4 games lost. 35 won, 6 drawn. We've obviously played the least out of Arteta and Guardiola. Arteta down to 60%, but he definitely improved Arsenal. I don't know how he's done so badly because this is very much the same team that we've took over. There's a few differences, obviously, but a lot of the key players are still the same. They just didn't have a striker, and I think that was the main thing. They needed a striker, and we signed a couple. Guardiola did well. Why was he sacked? I just don't understand why he would have been sacked. Where's he at now? Oh, he's Portugal manager. All right, so he didn't leave. Oh, and Italiano's Italy manager. What's Arteta doing? He's Inter manager. Okay, at least he's still in club football. Did he go anywhere else? No, this is literally his only other 2 jobs. Very interesting. What's Jack? Oh, Jack Wilshere's coach of Lincoln. Oh, I love that because he's joined our old club. Did I sign him? I might have signed him. I really can't remember. 2028. Would I have been? I might have done. I may have done because it's in that Lincoln Fulham crossover. So he may have signed for us in the Championship, or maybe he might have went there when I went to Fulham. Really not sure. But yeah, I mean, we're looking good for it. We did even end up finishing 3rd with a team that were down in 7th when we took over, but it only took 1 game to get us back to 3rd. Again, why was he sacked? Like, obviously they weren't doing great, but it's a bit of an overreaction. Anyway, we are massively overachieving. Well, we are overachieving our objective in the Prem, which is just to finish top 4. That is a guarantee. We're 14 points clear of City. We are finishing top 4. But our aim, obviously, is to win the league. If we can do a double, a treble, or a quadruple even, that would be unreal. Obviously, first up, League Cup, get that wrapped up. We are playing Everton, who are doing okay in 7th, so it's definitely not a guarantee we'll win it, but you'd like to think we have. There's plenty big teams left in the FA Cup, so definitely no guarantee there. We should get past Norwich based on the last game. Champions League, again, all the big clubs are really, there's no one really that's gone out there. There's no one that's gone out that you think, oh, I'm glad they've gone out, like pretty much everyone. If a couple of these could not get through, Chelsea, Bayern, Barcelona, Juventus, Atletico. If a couple of them don't want to go through, that would be nice. Top 8, yeah, you wouldn't really want to play any of them, would you? I mean, Monaco maybe be okay, Milan maybe, but you wouldn't really want any of the English lads. You certainly wouldn't want Madrid because we already lost to them. Tottenham seemed good, so I'm surprised they're down in 10th because they've actually done well against us as well. They were a draw, so definitely not easy. But anyway, we're just rambling now, so we will play Palace off camera. We'll be back for Fulham Man United in the next episode. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of North to Prem, and I'll see you all for more very soon.